Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back for another Peggy episode. We've got both of us out, the team is out on a walk. So Peggy is now 4 months old tomorrow and Canicross training has started. Now before you go too mad, this is not involving any running whatsoever. But now she's been out and walking for a good number of weeks. And she's used to it all. And she's wearing her little puppy harness. So she's getting used to putting harnesses on when we come out to walk. So she's just used to the feeling of harnesses going on and it just being a normal day-to-day thing. We are now starting to introduce some commands for her. Namely, left and right are the big ones that we're working on at the moment. And on, which is my on by. You will hear me use that with Dizzy a lot. Good boy, on. 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 Good boy. Good boy, on. Just occasionally, when she's slowing, I'll give her the on command and see if she then comes along and carries on with the walk. On we go. On. Good. The left and the rights are obviously fairly self-explanatory. While we're on some nice technical terrain like this, we'll hit a few turns that she has to follow and I'll give her a direction, right, and praise her for taking the right direction. Good. Fairly simple stuff, really. Left. On. Right, left. Good. So to teach your dogs left and right, you can do it from a young age like we are here, just finding obvious turns to make, and actually it helps that she's following Dizzy, which is really useful. Dizzy will do the directions from loose. But if you're on your own, then a good way of doing it is having the dog out front and then just tapping the line for the direction that you want to turn whilst giving the command. If you can get out with groups of dogs to run together, even though you're running in the middle of the pack and you don't need to give the direction because you're all just going to follow each other, still give it, because it will really reinforce those directions as well. Got to remember, you're probably going to have to say each one a couple of thousand times for it to actually really sink in. So the earlier you can start doing it, and the more you can do it and reinforce it, the better. If she wants to walk out front and kind of take the strain a little bit and pull into the harness, I'm not stopping her from doing that. I'm not encouraging her to do it, I'm not demanding she does it. She walk how she wants to and sniff. But if she wants to walk out front, almost like we are running down a trail, and she, to be fair, she naturally does this. This is the slightly mad thing that I'd heard about purpose-bred dogs that I hadn't realised until I started walking a puppy one. It took me ages to get Dizzy to even remotely think about going out front and pulling into a harness. She just naturally walks there. When we're walking down single track in the forest, just like places where we would run, she kind of has that view already. She's already out front, she's ready to go from the womb. But yeah, if she wants to walk out front, pull into the harness a little bit, I'm not stopping her. I know now that there's going to be millions of people going, if you get your puppy to pull in a harness, your dog's going to pull. Yes, she will. It is not something that we are prioritising in our dog training. She's born to race, she's born to run. Most of her life she's going to be running in a harness of some description. So yes, it is not whether she actually pulls on a walk on the lead is not something we're going to prioritise. We will obviously be training her to walk normally as well, but where we live, where we walk, things we're going to do with her, it's not an essential skill. We will quite happily canny trek her through the forest here for walks. We don't need to walk her miles around the block on a main road, walk her in show rings or anything like that. So yes, allowing her to pull in a harness from a puppy and not teaching her heel will cause her to pull, but there's many other things that we are prioritising above it. It is obviously completely possible to do both. We taught Dizzy to walk on a collar nicely and pull in a harness, although his pull in a harness will be nowhere near as strong as Peggy's will be. So we're at 4 months now, and what's next for her? Probably another month of probably where we are doing what we're doing, more growing, lots of growing to do, and then we start hitting race season, which is going to be really cool to take her to events and get her used to seeing what they're all about, seeing the excitement, feeling the energy at them. So she'll probably be about 5 months, 5.5 months as we start hitting the events, at which point she'll probably be about the right size for us to put her in a ramble harness rather than a puppy harness, without wasting our money on having to buy a harness every 2 months. And when she's in that, and when she's big enough to be in that, we can start canny trekking her, which is going to be around about 5.5, 6 months old. Other things that are going to be on the agenda that you'll see us doing on this series are getting her introduced to hydrotherapy, getting her started free running, so joining me and Dizzy on our free runs, and then eventually building up to getting her in harness, doing some canny treks in a running harness, get used to wearing that, and then after Christmas the work begins. So if you're enjoying the Peggy updates and this little series of us taking her from tiny puppy all the way through to her race debuts, then make sure you smash a like button, hit subscribe, so you can catch up with all the updates on this series and all the other videos that me and Dizzy are putting out. Check out our jargon buster that we've just done, so you are up to date on all the terminology. We are probably 6 weeks away from the race season starting. Our pre-season is going pretty well, so make sure you're subscribed so you can catch every race video when they start coming out again. And then from me, Dizzy and Peggy, we'll see you on the next one.